Hello Miners and welcome back. I got another fun one for you here today. Today we are just going to go as aggro as possible and beat our opponents down with some of the crazy spaghetti monsters. We are just playing straight up Eldrazi today. So this deck was considered a huge problem prior to the Sowing Mycospawn ban. And ever since Mycospawn left the format, it's kind of dropped off in play rate a bit. But it is cool to see that instead of going for the longer game controlling route that Mycospawn allowed with a kind of toolboxy land package, they're going back to using the red Eldrazi from Modern Horizons 3 and Eldrazi Linebreaker to just power through your opponent's early stuff and just beat down with as many creatures as quickly as possible. Considering how overcosted Eldrazi are, this is actually a very low to the ground fast aggro deck thanks to the amount of soul lands in the form of Eldrazi Temple, Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, and Eye of Ugin, making all of our colorless Eldrazi spells cost less mana or tap to produce more mana in our lands to be able to play these things ahead of curve. So the whole point of this deck is just to keep slamming Eldrazi back to back to back as quickly as possible to overpower our opponent with the help of things like It That Heralds the End to act as a lord and make our 7-drops cost less, Glaring Fleshraker to act as a way to accelerate our mana, ping our opponent, and put a ton of bodies on the board to power up Eldrazi Linebreaker, which gives something plus X, where X is the number of Eldrazi you have. Thought-Knot-Seer to act as hand disruption as a big body. Reality Smasher just as a quick, tramply, hard to interact with threat to run over the opponent. And then the high end of the curve here, we've got Null Drifter for card advantage and Annihilator, Devourer of Destiny as a removal spell and selection in your opening hand, and a one of Sire of Seven Deaths, which is just a giant 7/7 body with a whole slew of keywords: First Strike, Menace, Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, and Ward pays 7 life. So this whole deck, we're just trying to run over our opponents, and if we can't do it super fast, we got a couple of disruptive elements in the deck in the form of Chalice of the Void to be able to lock down some of our opponent's spells. Kozilek's Command, which is honestly what I think was the busted card in Eldrazi to begin with and was really the issue, because it is a colorless spell that, as the game goes along, it gets even more value, and it does a little bit of everything. It's removal, graveyard hate, mana ramp, card advantage. So there's an overall busted card in general. So, like I said, the whole point of the deck is basically just keep slamming Eldrazi over our opponent as quickly as possible with a couple little disruptive things to make sure that they can't keep our board in check. Sideboard is a lot of stuff to really just deal with the combo decks that are running around the format. Fairy Macabre for the graveyard decks running around the format. Mindbreak Trap for Storm-style decks. Dismembered or remove problematic creatures like Nadu. Wastegate Battle Mage is an interesting one that acts as artifact and enchantment removal on a body that synergizes with everything else that we're doing. The One Ring is a nice little card advantage engine to be able to keep up with the control and tempo decks that are going to probably stop our first couple of turns of play and be able to get back into the game. And then Disruptor Flute just to shut down problematic activated abilities, just to shutting down Wastelands, because as you can see, we only have a single basic land in this entire deck. Everything else is non-basic, so we are very weak to Wasteland in general, or the activate abilities out of like Nadu combo and stuff like that. So let's take this through our league, see if we can just overrun our opponent with all of the spaghetti monsters that we have, and see if we can Eldrazi smash our way to a finish. I'll catch you all in the wrap-up. Play any of the decks you see on this channel with a Mana Traders rental subscription. With a variety of tiers to fit any budget, Mana Traders lets you play whatever you want in whatever format you want. Use code DasSourKraut at checkout and become a better player today. All right, round one, we're already up against the one and only Romario. I know he's been playing a bunch of Sneak and Show lately, but let's see if we can stomp him out of this game. Good luck, Romario, if you catch this, but we won the die roll. Let's go. Yeah, we will keep the hell out of this. Turn 1, It That Heralds the End into turn 2 Eldrazi Linebreaker. And let's just hope he's not on some kind of like turn 1 combo deck. I know he's kind of all over the place, but like I said, I know he's been playing a bunch of, whatchamacallit here, Sneak and Show, but we'll see what he's on today. Let's start off with an Ancient Tomb into our It That Heralds the End. Ship the turn. See what Romario's doing today. If you do catch this, Romario, gotta say I'm a big fan of your videos and your podcast, Legacy Small Talk with Jared and Mike as well. So hopefully we put on a good show here. Ooh, a Tundra. Interesting. Is Romario going to the dark side and playing some kind of control deck? a Glaring Fleshraker. I think we are going to actually start out with that then. Or do I want a Linebreaker now and just start getting it out? Linebreaker after Fleshraker is actually really good here. So I think we're going to start off with the Fleshraker. It resolves, so you could have something like a Swords to Plowshares, maybe. I'm just not sure what he would be playing that starts out with Tundra Pass. Into a Plains. What is Romario doing over there? I am so confused. I actually wouldn't hate another Soul Land, because if I can hit another Soul Land, Kozilek's Command. So, unfortunately, Kozilek's Command doesn't give me the red mana, so I think we're going to go ahead and do this. Just try to overpower what's going on here. Get a little more damage in. This also makes the Linebreaker way more powerful. And then we'll go to combat. Let's give this to the Fleshraker. It's the most replaceable thing on the board here. Hit for 9. Yeah, I'm just confused what could be going on over here, unless this is just like a show and tell variant. And he's just going to get to 3 mana, slam a show and tell, and then I'm just done. So I'm very confused what's going on over there at the moment. It'd be interesting to see a white-based show and tell variant. And Romario scoops it up, saying, not a great show to start, unfortunately. Rough draws there, Romario, but I have no idea what you're doing yet. So we are boarding completely in the blind here. Being as I saw Tundra and a Plains, I'm tempted to bring in the One Rings here, just so I have a card advantage engine to try to get through some counter spells. And I'm kind of tempted to bring in Disruptor Flu. I feel like he might have some activated abilities of some sort, or even just attacks kind of what he's doing here. With all of that being said, what do we want to cut? I don't know if Chalice is going to be a good one or not, because, again, I don't know what he's doing over there, but being on the draw, Chalice is always worse. So maybe take out a Chalice. Maybe we'll just trim some of the top-end stuff here, like trim a Devourer of Destiny and a Null Drifter, and just try something like this. Alright, maybe we'll actually see what he's doing over there this game. Okay, this isn't bad. This is turn 2 Fleshraker, and then hopefully we can get up to the Sire of Seven Dust pretty quickly here. We have a lot of redundancy if he's on a Wasteland strategy of some sort. I think we'll go ahead and keep this. Like, we're relying a bit on the top of our deck here, but since we can ramp up to the Sire of Seven Dust super quick, I like it. Mario mulligan to 6. Flooded Strand, okay. I wouldn't hate a Chalice here. A redundant Glaring Fleshraker, that's fine. So next turn we can double Fleshraker with Eye of Ugin if he doesn't take out our Ancient Tomb. Meticulous Archive, so maybe he is on something fair, which is Prismatic Ending. Okay, so yeah, this feels like something incredibly fair, unless he's just playing Nadu. Ooh, missing lands? That is rough. Into an Eldrazi Temple. We are going to drop an Eye of Ugin, play a Fleshraker. This is worth the Force of Will. Pitching to Fairy Time Raveler. Romario playing something fair? This is weird. Double Force of Will. Holy... Okay, so he's just on, like, blue-white control stuff over there. But we basically did just strip 4 cards out of his hand, and he's missing land drops. Into a Ponder, okay. Well, we can just get up to the Sire of Seven Deaths here in 2 more turns if we don't draw anything else. And then if he doesn't have a counter, he's going to have a very hard time dealing with this Sire. Finally hit a land. So he might just be on Jeskai control. 2 cards in hand. Okay. Well, we get to see what's in his hand now. Oh, I overpaid for that. Oops. I forgot that I had a, whatchamacallit here. He's a ways away from this 4th Aerolingus. I think we're just going to take the Snapcaster. So it looks like he's on Jeskai control. I forgot that I didn't actually have to fully pay for this Thought-Knots here. That's a my bad. And he's missing land, so he can't cast the 4th Aerolingus anyways. And then another Eldrazi Temple. We're just going to slam the Sire of Seven Deaths. Again, we're overpaying, but just in case he, like, randomly has a Daze or something. Finally getting to test this card out. Alright, that resolves. Burn off this mana. Get in with the Thought-Knots here. And then pass the turn. Swords to Plowshares on the Thought-Knot to draw a card. Okay. Oh, he's still got a 2-turn clock. He's got an uncastable 4th Aerolingus, and he's still missing lands. And we draw a Lotus Petal. We will play Secluded Courtyard and name Eldrazi. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana with the Lotus Petal. So we can't quite activate Eye of Ugin yet. Little love tap for 7 here, and now I don't know how he kills the Sire 7 Death without just dying to the ward trigger. And he could only Aerolingus for 1. Going out on his own terms. Alright, and taking down Romario in round 1. I'm sorry, Romario, if you see this, that was some rough running, but good luck in the rest of your league. Alright, on to the next one. Okay, round 2, up against Orzhov Control, who is playing a Yorion deck, so I'm guessing this is probably Death and Taxes, which I'm a little scared for my lands, but I don't hate what's going on here, so we're going to keep it. We have a decent amount of lands, so I'm sure we'll draw some more if they do end up just wastelanding us into Oblivion. We also can just Emergency Cycle Kozilek's Command into a Plains. Okay. So it does look like it's just going to be 80-card Death and Taxes. Kozilek's Command number 3. Okay. Like I said, we can Emergency Cycle one of these. If they just play like a 1-drop. Okay, there's the Wasteland. I think we are just going to go ahead and Emergency Cycle one of these, unless they just don't hit our Ancient Tomb. They could be holding up for a Felia or something. They could also be Wastelanding us in our upkeep, which they are. So I will just cycle this. It's kind of whatever. It's literally just a cycle. We don't get any value off of this. Just trying to hit some lands to replace that. Okay, Unclaimed Territory isn't bad. I think we will play that just in case we hit... Okay, we hit a Cavern of Souls as well. So I think we will play Unclaimed Territory, name Eldrazi, pass the turn. We're slowly working our way up the mana curve here. It's just going to be really bad if they have another Wasteland or... Okay, White Orchid Phantom. At least we have a basic that we can play here. Oh, they're blowing up their own land to ramp. Okay. Grabbing a Shadowy Backstreet. So they are actually Orzhov Death and Taxes. So very appropriate for the name. Kudos on the flavor. Binning a Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. I'm a little worried about them like Felia blinking stuff here. But we're going to go ahead and run out the Ancient Tomb. Run out a Fleshraker. If it gets a removal spell out of their hand, so be it. Then we can Thought Knot Seer next turn, or we can K-Command away the White Orchid Phantom. If this makes it around the table, it starts getting us more mana. Opponent's getting in with a White Orchid Phantom. Okay. We can't block it anyway, so that's mostly fine. It just comes down to, do we want a Kozilek's Command next turn, or do we want to do something else? Okay, Swords on the Fleshraker, so basically just undoing their White Orchid attack. And unfortunately, that means we're probably just going to have to Kozilek's Command away the Stoneforge Mystic before they can do anything with it. Luckily, we have another Kozilek's Command to take this out, but we are doing a ton of damage to ourselves. And that's a Cauldron. We're going to see if we can strand that in their hand. Another Glaring Fleshraker. Let's get some more colored mana going so that they can't just get us off of this. We are going to do this in our turn so that they can't put the Cauldron into play. We're going to make some dudes. We are going to kill that. Hopefully this strands the Cauldron in hand. We have some creatures here, so we can start playing bigger stuff or multiple spells next turn. We actually could Fleshraker into K-Command into Thought Knot Seer if our spawns survive and they don't hit our Soul Land. 3 mana for a Flicker Wisp. Okay, so they are going to blow up one of our lands here. The question is do they go after the Soul Land or do they go after one of our colored sources? They are going after the Ancient Tomb. Okay. We do have a basic waste to be able to grab. That also does stem some of the bleeding. Oh, okay, so this is going to be a great turn here. So we Eldrazi Temple, play Glaring Fleshraker. Then we can cast Kozilek's Command, make some dudes, exile a creature. We will make dudes. We will exile the White Orchid Phantom. We will make another dude, ping him for a bit, get rid of the whatchamacallit here, and then have we played a land yet? No. Yes? Yes, I played the Eldrazi Temple. Okay. So now we pass the turn, and we kind of just have to figure out a way to deal with this. But in theory, if we drop Thought-Knot Seer into Reality Smasher, then we should be able to win the race if they can't do anything else. Take a hit for 3. They have a 4-turn clock. We will have a 2-turn clock if this stuff resolves. 3 mana for a Skyclave Apparition, so they're just going to take out our Fleshraker, which is mostly fine. That wasn't really what we were trying to do here anyways. And a Wasteland. So we will start off with our Fleshraker, or the Thought-Knot Seer. See what's going on over there. Spirit of the Labyrinth, Thalia, White Orchid Phantom. We take the redundant White Orchid Phantom, play our Reality Smasher, and get in. They don't have enough creatures to be able to profitably block any of this. Like, they could play Thalia and Spirit of the Lab to block this if they hit another land, but they didn't play a land pre-combat. We go to 6. That's fine. They could play Spirit of the Labyrinth and block Skyclave plus Lab, depending on what we do here. What do we draw? If that heralds the end, I like that a lot, because that makes our creatures even bigger and even harder to deal with. We're going to go ahead and just blow up the one land that we can. And then what? I think we just crash in. If they want to double block the Thought-Knot Seer, actually, I don't think we attack with the Thought-Knots. I think we hold it back on D, protect our life total, because we can still take one more hit off of this Flicker Wisp. And they're going to take 6 here. They're down to 6. We have 3 attackers we can get in with. One has Trample. They might just have to hold everything back on D. Or they get in with the Flicker Wisp. Okay, they're getting in with the Wisp. That's fine. We do need to find an answer to this. Otherwise, we are kind of just dead to it. Because they can, what, play Thalia here? They hit another land. Another Spirit of the Labyrinth. So if we push, they block all 3, go to 1. So we do need an answer to this Flicker Wisp. Oh, yeah, that just does it. Okay. Go here, go here. Hit an Eldrazi Linebreaker. This should just be lethal. We know what their hand is. We are going to give that here. And math is for blockers. Just turn everything sideways. And it looks like they just take it and accept death. Okay. I like that we took game 1 against this deck. With what they've got going on, I think we want Disruptor Flutes. We probably want Dismembers. There's something to be said about maybe bringing in the Wastegate Battle Mages. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't think Chalice is going to be very good against them. The majority of their stuff is 2 and 3. They do have a decent amount of 1-drops, but I don't think it's a high enough percentage to warrant Chalice of the Void here. And then we can probably trim like 1 Null Drifter. And let's try that. Okay, yeah, I like this. We keep this turn 1 It That Heralds the End into turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, and we get to select what our first card is going to be. Basic Plains into an Aether Vial. Okay. Our Devourer of Destiny trigger. We basically just want lands here. Unfortunately, we kind of want this. But given what our hand currently is, do we want the Ancient Tomb or do we want a redundant Thought-Knot Seer? I think we want the Ancient Tomb. I will play Eldrazi Temple, run out a It That Heralds the End, and then we are going to just run out this Lotus Petal. See if it distracts our opponent at all. We'll see. Like, I chose the Ancient Tomb because I want redundancy for a Soul Land if they do just have a Wasteland to take out this Eldrazi Temple. Or if they just, like, White Orchid Phantom here. Which, yeah, now it's actually legitimately just, like, a blow up my land spell because I got rid of my 1 basic. We'll just shuffle the deck. That's fine. Into a Disruptor Flute. We will play that. We will pass the turn. In their upkeep with this trigger on the stack, we will flash in the Disruptor Flute. Or if they try to do it here, we'll do it. Okay. With the trigger on the stack, we flash in Disruptor Flute. Name Aether Vial. So now they can't do anything with that Aether Vial. And hopefully next turn we get to just drop this Thought-Knot Seer. And then eventually get down this Devourer of Destiny and hope it's something they can't realistically deal with. And kind of just hope they kept a mana light hand here. Do they have more lands? Alright, they did keep more lands. 3 mana, Skyclave Apparition. I'm gonna guess they're gonna grab the... No, they're going after the It Heralds the end. Okay, that's actually kind of okay. Eldrazi Temple. Let's Ivugin. Let's see what's going on over there. What is this? Extraction Specialist? I mean, it's the only thing we can take. However, they do have Ghost Quarter, which is mildly annoying. But we have a bunch of redundant lands. If they go after Ivugin, it just makes this... It's going to cost more. We do need to still get to a point where we can blow up this White Orchid Phantom. Take another 2. We do need to be careful with our Ancient Tomb. There's Ghost Quarter. Are they going to go out? Okay, they are going after the Ivugin. Again, we'll just shuffle. There's no reason not to. What did they draw? Recruiter or the Guard? Okay. That's mildly problematic. Are they going to find like a Felia here? Do they have a Lauren? No, they're just going to strictly go for the beatdown. Another... Okay, Glaring Fleshraker is interesting. I mean, we're just going to run it out, because it gives us mana later. And then we'll pass. Like, unfortunately, they are just taxing our mana so much that we're just, like, never getting to this Devourer of Destiny. So I think they might have gotten this one. They just had so much land destruction. But unfortunately, that's kind of just what Death and Taxes does. Getting in with the Skyclave Apparition, that's interesting. Or not. Don't want to give us a 2-2? No. Okay. And then I'm assuming our Eldrazi Temple is toast. And then they've got a 2-turn clock. Yep, there's the White Orchid Phantom. Yep, there's Eldrazi Temple gone. I mean, since we don't know what it is, I'm just kind of clicking through. Like, none of this actually particularly matters. Ooh, and a Path to Exile. We'll just hit no. We know we have no basics. Into the Shadowy Backstreet. They're empty-handed, which would normally be a good spot for us if it wasn't for the fact that we have pretty much nothing going on here at the moment. Like, a K command would be the best draw here. Linebreaker, that doesn't do it. Like, we can play it. So, I mean, we might as well. Like, if we're going to get back into this in any way, shape, or form, this is how we do it. And then we will go ahead and give this to... We'll give it to the Thought-Knot Seer. Swing in. Because they can't double block this to kill it. I guess they could triple block it, actually. Alright, just gonna do that. It also doesn't get trample, unfortunately, but it gets a body off of the board. And our Ancient Tomb is going to be off, so I don't think we realistically have a way out of this now. Because they'll be able to hit us for 4. We could block the Skyclave Apparition, but then our Ancient Tomb is off. And I don't think we have a draw that doesn't involve Ancient Tomb. Yeah, it's a cool card. Yeah, they just had too much land destruction too quickly, so we'll just go to the next game. Being on the play will help. There's something to be said about maybe bringing the Chalices back in to go Chalice on 2, but I don't think it's worth it. I think we just want to run it back here and just hope for the best. Okay, yeah, we can keep this. We'll go ahead and keep this. We will start on a Wasteland, so if they just Wasteland or Wasteland, it's relatively pointless. And then plan on just dropping a turn 2 Fleshraker. We'll start with the Wasteland, pass the turn. If they want a Wasteland or Wasteland, that's fine. Otherwise, we're going to just drop a Fleshraker and start trying to go to town. And if they Swords to Plowshares it, so be it. It basically equals 0 mana. Or 0 life at that point. And if this lives, we can kind of pop off with Kozilek's Command next turn. Alright, they're going to Swords it. That's mostly fine. And we still have our basic in our deck, so even if they blow something up here with like a White Orchid Phantom, we can go get a basic, and then we can exile the White Orchid Phantom with Kozilek's Command, make some dorks, and work our way up to this Eldrazi Fleshraker. Alright, opponent is passing the turn. That is interesting. Is this a Felia? Into a Lotus Petal. We will play Ancient Tomb and pass. Our plan is to just go ahead and exile whatever they play. If it is a Felia, then we can just exile it. Disruptor Flutes. Okay. Do they just name Kozilek's Command? Make it so it costs more? Are they going to name Ivugin so we can't activate it? Okay, they do name Kozilek's Command. So we can just emergency cycle this Kozilek's command if we need to. 3 mana, Flicker Wisp. Okay. Are they just gonna flick? No, they're just flickering their land so they can get something else out of it. That's fine, I guess. We can play a Lotus Petal. Play a Lotus Petal. And now we can Kozilek's command with the tax. Because this would be 6, 8. So we can still Kozilek's command for 3. I guess we'll see what happens here. I think that's right, because it'd be a 5 mana tax and then X equals 3. So we'll just see what they do here. It looks like they're just getting it. Whatever we do, we will do at end of turn. I don't really care about this Flicker Wisp, though, so I don't even know if I really want to do it. 3 mana. Puts Yorion in hand. Do we want to get rid of the Flicker Wisp, or do we just want to, like, scry and draw? I think we might just want to scry and draw here. Cast Kozilek's command. Make Dorks. This is a clock, and they could have some value blinking it. Do we want to just try to power through whatever they're doing here? I think we're just going to try to power through whatever they're doing here. Like, I'm really iffy between if I want to scry and draw or if I just want to exile this Flicker Wisp. I mean, we have answers for Flicker Wisp, so I think we will scry and draw. Target us, target us. And this is currently X equals 1, 2, 3. If they mana tithe us, they mana tithe us. Glaring Fleshraker, Eldrazi Temple, Secluded Courtyard. Bottom, top the Fleshraker, and then we'll draw, and we might be able to go kind of crazy here. Oh yeah, with an It that heralds the end, this is going to be absolutely insane. So what we want to start off with is tap like this, play the Fleshraker, play the It that heralds the end. It's gonna make a dude and ping him. They could Swords to Plowshares the Fleshraker now, but that's actually okay. We'd probably be more okay with that dying. Path to Exile. Okay. We will grab our planes, or our wastes. This also makes these bigger. And now they would need, like, a Solitude. We will do red, whatever. Sack the one with Summoning Sickness. Cast Eldrazi Linebreaker. And schwack in for a ton. Do they have, like, white card Solitude? If they do, it does get a lot of stuff out of their hand. Alright. Are we getting into combat, or are we going to see a Solitude? Like, we know there's a Yorion in hand. Doesn't look like it yet. We're just going to give it to itself. There's something to be said about maybe I should have thrown this on a spawn to incentivize them to go after that instead, but we're playing to win here. We got to get a clock going. Like, the fact that these triggers keep sitting on the stack is what concerns me. Okay, they do have a Solitude, but at least this gives us a ton of life. Well, I guess it only gives us 4, but it's something. Oh, they're going after the It that heralds the end. Okay. I guess that does make it so I can only attack in with the Eldrazi Linebreaker, but it's what it is. Okay. Just a little tap for 7 there. They have 2 unknown cards in hand now. Looks like they're going to get in. I am going to give the power this time to a spawn token. 3 mana. Skyclave would be annoying. Extraction Specialist with mana value of 2 or less. Okay. So they don't actually get anything back with that. We hit a Disruptor Flute. We're just going to give this to a spawn and swing in with it. Like, if they want to give up their Extraction Specialist for a spawn, I'm okay with that. And depending on what they do, we can flash in this Disruptor Flute. This is an incredibly tight game. This has lifelink, so they can get some life back with it. That's fine. We'll just kill it. We'll let them get a little bit of life back. We have some really big draws that can still punish them. I do need to find a way to deal with this Flicker Wisp, though. Continuing the beats with the Flicker Wisp. We have 2 more draw steps. Mother of Ruins. Okay. All of our stuff is colorless, so Mother of Ruins is totally irrelevant at this point. So we can just let that do its thing. Reality Smasher. Trying to think here. I can't tap the Ancient Tomb, so I am going to have to go ahead and sack a spawn for this. And then we basically just have to fade for a turn. We're going to give this to this. And then get in with both of these. I guess if they have some kind of flash creature left in their hand to block, to like double block the whatchamacallit here, we have an issue, but either that or if they have like a Felly to flash in, they bounce our blocker, we're just dead. But I guess we just gotta fade whatever's in their hand plus their draw step. Okay, we basically just have to fade a draw here. 5-5, with both of us presenting lethal on the following turn. Like, this is an interaction to be aware of when you're playing a Eldrazi or Devoid deck, is Mother of Runes does not give your creatures protection from anything, because everything in this deck is colorless. Like, even the red Eldrazi Linebreaker is technically colorless because of the Devoid mechanic. And the opponent scoops it up. Apparently they didn't draw what they needed. Alright, already 2-0. Let's go. On to the next one. Alright, round 3. Won the die roll. Up against Alessio C, who I've seen quite a bit before. We are going to keep the shit out of this. This is great. We are going to Eldrazi Temple, It That Heralds the End. Turn 2, Eye of Ugin, Thought-Knot Seer. Follow up with the Thought-Knot Seer after that. And just hope that they're not on, like, oops all spells. Alright, starting off with a ley line. So this is probably some kind of mono-black control. But we are going to lead off exactly how I said. Start out with a It That Heralds the End. Play out this Lotus Petal because I'm a little worried about discard from the opponent past the turn. If we hit another Lotus Petal, we can double Thought-Knot Seer next turn. Fellmire. So yeah, this is just mono-black control stuff over here. So we are going to Thought-Knot Seer them, see what they got going on over there. Another It That Heralds the End. So I can actually go ahead and Thought-Knot Seer and It That Heralds the End. So let's start off with the Thought-Knot Seer, see what's going on over there. Helm of Obedience Opposition Agent. We are definitely taking the Helm. And then we are going to run out... Oh, I can't. Never mind. Oops, I need colorless mana to do that. I should have tapped this differently, but oh well. We will run out the It That Heralds the End next turn along with another Thought-Knot Seer. That's fine. But typically these decks only run one Helm, so that combo should be shut off now. We don't really care about Opposition Agent that much. There's the Ancient Tomb. So I'm assuming this means they're going to flash in the Oppo Agent, unless we decide to try to take it first with the Thought-Knot Seer. Or, hear me out, we can just Reality Smasher. Do we have the mana to do everything here? Eldrazi. So this costs 1, this costs 3. So if I do this, pay 1 colorless mana for It That Heralds the End. And then I've still got 3 mana to be able to Reality Smasher, or I can just Thought-Knot Seer, take their opposition agent / force them to play it. What do I care more about here? I think I want a Reality Smasher and just go max damage here. And then we'll get in with everything for 16 damage to shut off their Ancient Tomb. Or they flash in the Oppo Agent and they probably just block the It That Heralds the End, which is fine. I have another one. And, like, I'm just beating down face here. Yeah, they're going to block an It That Heralds the End. That's fine. They're down to 3. Pass the turn and then just hope to Thought-Knot Seer, take away whatever their interaction is, and then go to town. Alright, took down game 1 pretty easily. I like that a lot. So we are going to bring in Disruptor Flutes, the One Ring, and probably Dismembers. Chalice is kind of here. We can probably take those out pretty easily. I don't think we want Null Drifters. I don't think we're realistically casting them. And then maybe trim 1 Devourer of Destiny. And yeah, let's try that. Okay, this isn't bad. This is a turn 2 the One Ring, turn 1 Disruptor Flute. Or I can just go kind of crazy doing other shit, but we're going to keep this and hope for the best. Opponent kept on 7. No Leyline this time. And no turn 1 play from the opponent. So what, this could be like... Seeing as they didn't do anything, I think we're just going to play out the Wasteland. I don't want to lose the City of Traders yet. And we'll pass the turn. If we absolutely have to, we can flash in this Disruptor Flute. But we'll see what happens here. I was thinking of leading off on the City of Traders, but since they didn't do anything turn 1, I don't want to lose the City of Traders right away when I play the Wasteland. Dark Ritual, 5 mana, Helm of Obedience, okay, and no follow-up play. Okay, we'll see what we draw first. We could flash in the Helm here, or the Disruptor Flute. We draw a Reality Smasher. We could also try to Thought Knot Seer here, take whatever their payoff is. I'm assuming that they have a Dauthi Voidwalker in their hand, but if they have two, that's a losing line. So I think we're just going to hold steady here for a minute, flash in the Disruptor Flute when we see what they try to play to turn this all on. Just passing the turn again. Okay. In that case, then, we will flash in the Disruptor Flute on end step. Just going to randomly mill me? Okay, that's fine. Wasteland, a Dismember, and a Cavern of Souls. I don't really care about any of that. Helm of Obedience. Like, the lands would have been nice, but they're not the end of the world here. We hit an unclaimed territory. We could get down Reality Smasher, or we can get down the One Ring here. And I think what we want to do is get down the One Ring. Name Eldrazi. Lose that. Play the One Ring. Give us protection for a turn. And this will hopefully find us lands. Sire of Seven Deaths. Because we're low on lands, I'm not going to fire off this Wasteland yet. If we had hit a land, I was probably going to fire off the Wasteland on the Ancient Tomb. Like, hitting another black man and shouldering it is kind of a pain in the ass if they manage to find it. Because then that basically shuts down our One Ring. They could also flash in a Bowmasters next turn. Okay, Dark Ritual. Dauthi Voidwalker's fine. I don't care about that. It's just a creature. And Opposition Agent. Okay. So I'm not super concerned about the creatures they just played out. That's totally fine by me. And we get 3 draws to find some lands. Okay, we hit an Ancient Tomb, which means we can play Thought Knots here. So we're going to play Ancient Tomb, play Lotus Petal, and then we are going to go ahead and Thought Knot Seer here, see what's going on over here. This also blocks their agent. They have another Dauthi Voidwalker and a Shoulder's Edict. Well, we have to take the Edict. The Voidwalker is uncastable right now. When we get up to the Sire of Seven Deaths, it undoes all the damage from the Voidwalkers anyways. This could be like a Barrogoyf? No, it's a Shoulder's Edict. Okay. So we can just play another whatchamacallit, another Thought Knot Seer if we want to. We'll take a Schwack for 6 here, go to 11. But we're also... Oh, they're going to use my own Thought Knot Seer against me. Okay, I mean, I guess I get to choose what they want here. They probably take the Sire of Seven Deaths, if I had to guess. But, I mean, we've got multiple things that basically just stonewall what they're doing here. And the fact that they got rid of their unblockable threat is actually really big. They still need another black mana before they can even play this other one. Okay, they just took the Thought Knot Seer. Okay, that's fine. If we can just slam the Sire of Seven Deaths, I'm not super sure how they deal with it, unless... Okay, they just scoop it up. Apparently they saw our hand and we're just like, nope, not gonna happen. Alright, well, already got the positive record locked. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, round 4 up against G-Hash, who's normally on Wheel's Stompy decks. So let's see how 2 Stompy decks against each other go. That said, we'll just keep this. We're just going to hit the Heralds of the End into a Flushraker or Kozilek's Command or something like that and just hope that they don't turn one wheel me. But they're on a Yorion deck. Granted, some of his brews of Wheel Stompy have Yorion in them, so it's not a sign that he's not actually playing Wheel Stompy. I know he's been playing a red version a lot lately, but I haven't seen any of his lists with Yorion in them yet. On a side note, I also don't think I've ever actually beaten him when filming matches against him. Alright, Sephoric Springs, that signals to me that he's definitely on something Wheel Stompy adjacent. We could take the turn off just to blow that up, but I'd rather take out a Soul Land. So I think we're just going to stay the course here and do this. Try to beat him down as quickly as we can before he gets a chance to establish anything. Almost all of his Soul Lands end up being tapped anyways, because like a Surprise and Scary we can take out with a Wasteland. That being said, this version, what is this? Force of Negation main. Okay, that Urza Saga is a much juicier target, and he's set up to just wheel. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and just hit Narset, blow up the Urza Saga. I mean, he's got a redundant Narset, but it's going to take some extra mana to be able to do that. If we hit a Lotus Petal, we can still cast this Glaring Flushraker. We do not. So I think we are just going to go ahead and take out the Urza Saga. And then swing in, hit the Narset just so he doesn't get more draws with it. And then we kind of just got to hope that we can establish a board presence before he gets a chance to wheel here. Another Chrome Mox. Pitching the Narset. Lion's Eye Diamond. Do you have the Echo? No, you have a Daze Undoing. Well, that's unfortunate. Play out Temple. Play out Lotus Petal. And hope that you just bricked off and you don't have another draw punish effect. Kill the Narset. Hope that they don't have another wheel punisher effect and another wheel. There's nothing I can do here. Seat of the Synod. Okay. Into an Emery. That's not a problem yet. Oh, he's got Grindstone in here. That's an interesting side plan. And a Painter Servant. So next turn, he can theoretically Grindstone me if I don't find an answer for the Painter. Which I do not. Okay. On to the next one, getting pretty handily wrecked here. Like I said, like, I don't think I've ever beaten him, like, whenever I've been streaming or anything. So, bring in the fairies, bring in the disruptor flutes, bring in the wastegate battle mages, bring in the dismembers. I know I am bringing in an absolute shitload, but, like, I don't even know what else to do here is the problem. So we trim the chalices. I really do not think any of this stuff is going to matter here. Maybe the Macabres are a bit much. I'm also lowering my curve. I could take out the Heralds the Ends, but it's a really good, whatchamacallit, aggro threat. But I think we might just take those out since we took out, like, all of our 7-drops and shit. Yeah, I think we're going to try this. Just try to control his hate pieces and go from there. Alright, let's see if we can, not get wheeled into oblivion. So, like, we can set up our next draw. And we've got 2 Fairy Macabres if he goes for Emery's stuff. Or if he randomly just chucks a whatchamacallit. I don't think this is fast enough. I think we gotta ship this. I'm actually kind of regretting my choice of Fairy Macabres here. We can keep this. I think we drop one of the Lotus Petals, and our plan is just turn 1 Thought-Knot Seer, then turn 2 Fleshraker and see what happens. Drop a Lotus Petal, and we are going to... We could also... Well, no. Actually, we can't even do that. So let's start out with a Cavern of Souls, name Eldrazi, pass the turn, and then next turn we can Fleshraker into Thought-Knot Seer, assuming we don't get forced or we don't get turn 1 wheeled here. Alright, Island into Chrome Mox from the opponent here. Bidding an Echo, Lotus Petal, Mishra's Bauble. Are we just wheeling? Okay, yeah, we're just wheeling. I mean, I guess it is what it is sort of thing here. And they're going to bobble me to see what I'm drawing. Like, this isn't terrible. Ancient Tomb. I guess we're just going to Eldrazi Fleshraker here uncounterably. And hope that this Kozilek's command and this Dismember can get us where we need to be, and he didn't wheel into something great. But we're both on random 7s now. However, he's got cantrips and further wheels. Seat of the Synod. Into a Narset, okay. Don't just LED wheel me, please. Force of Will, okay. Mishra's Bauble. Okay, I'm not getting wheeled yet. Bobbling me to see what I'm drawing. A Thought-Knot Seer would be nice. Another Dismember. So there's a good chance that he probably has something to do with this Force of Will here. So what we could do is we could play Wasteland, take out one of his lands, Kozilek's command, assuming it's going to get Force of Willed anyways. But, I mean, we're going to hit the Narset first. And then I think we play the Wasteland, pass the turn, see what happens. Hold up Dismember just in case he's got some kind of creature that I want to try to hit here. And hope that maybe we can get a Kozilek's command in. I'm assuming it's going to end up getting Force of Willed, but you never know. 4 mana. For a Karn the Great Creator. Okay, so is he going for Mycosynth Lock here? It looks like it. Into a Liquid Metal Coating. Okay. So I guess we're going to see if this is worth forcing or not. We're going to make a dude scry draw. See if he wants to Force of Will this. And then take out the Suppress and Scary. Alright, looks like he's letting it resolve into a Reality Smasher. That can actually take out the Karn. We will put that on top and draw it since it's uncounterable. And we will always yield to this. See what else we draw here. Lotus Petal that doesn't actually do anything yet, but we are going to run it out to get the dude off of it. And then we are going to play Ancient Tomb, cast this uncounterably, and we will pay this price, hold up the Wasteland, can't counter this, take out both of your Planeswalkers, move to combat, take out Narset, take out Karn, and then we will take out your Surprise and Scary, and we're holding up 2 Dismembers and kind of just hoping for the best now. Okay, I have an answer for Emery, and they're just passing the turn. Let's see if we can get this Force of Will out of their hand. Sack this, pay the iron price for this. Our life total is a resource here. Okay, that dies. We can start getting in for real damage now. Into a Thought Knot Seer. Okay, so we can see what's going on over there. And we will. This Cavern of Souls is absolutely huge here. What is this? Into a Hull Breacher. Okay, that's fine. We will make our dude. And we've got another Hull Breacher, Force of Negation, Days Undoing, Grindstone, Liquid Metal Coating. I mean, we take the Days Undoing. They have another Hull Breacher. So we just get in with the Reality Smasher. This Days Undoing is gone. And if they do anything, we try to go for killing their Hull Breacher, make them Force of Will. Saporic Spring, so that was their draw for turn. Ooh, holding it up. Okay, Grindstone. They don't have a Painter, though. Oh, Echo of Aeons. Okay, I mean, that is annoying, but not the end of the world here. They have to pitch their Force for it. They go to 4. Okay, I guess I just gotta hope that their random 7 is bad. Is your random 7 bad? Because you're staring down lethal. You have a random 7, and you have 8 mana available. Uh-oh, paying some mana for something here. Karn the Great Creator, do you have a Painter Servant in the sideboard? Mishra's Bauble. You don't have enough mana to Myco lock me out. You're staring down lethal on board. You could wheel again to try to go again. This is a very precarious spot. If we can just fade whatever these 5 cards plus what Karn can get, we have a shot. Alright, Karn is tutoring something. They could also Ensnaring Bridge dump their hand so that I can't attack. And then I have to rely on Fleshraker and hoping they don't have any counters. Alright, they got Ensnaring Bridge. I guess we're going to see if he can empty his hand. He said, dang, I messed this one up. So I'm hoping that means he can't. Because if he drops Ensnaring Bridge, he's still got 5 cards in hand, and I can still attack with a Reality Smasher. Alright, he scoops it up. So apparently he punted that one. Do I want to change anything is the question. Like, Chalice on 0 does shut down some of his fastest stuff that he can do. So I'm wondering if that's worth it. Do I want to bring Chalice back in, or do I just want to run this back? I feel like Wastegate Battlemage might actually be too slow for this matchup. I could bring some It That Heralds the Ends back in to try to go aggro again. I could bring Chalices in to try to do like Chalice on 0, shut down his fast mana, and a bunch of his other artifacts. I think we might do that. We'll bring the Chalices back in and try something like that. Apparently what he wanted to do was force his Bauble to drop below 4 cards. And he just missed it. Alright, so this is a Chalice on 1. Or a Chalice on 0 on turn 1. I get to choose what my first card is, but then I don't follow up with anything, so I gotta ship this. I need mana. This one is even worse. We're going to 5, unfortunately. Okay, this is better. I think we just go super aggro here. I think we put the Wasteland to the bottom. So we put Wasteland to the bottom. Do I want the selection from Devourer, or do I just want to go Fleshraker into Thought Knot Seer? Yeah, I think I'm putting the... Actually, no. Let's put... I think we want to put the Ancient Tomb to the bottom here, actually. Yeah, we're going to put the Ancient Tomb to the bottom. We can select for another land, and I want follow-ups for these things. Okay, Surprise and Scary into Lotus Petal, pass from the opponent. We get our Devourer trigger. We can actually grab a Wasteland and try to take them off of that. or we can just grab more Eldrazi temples to try to power out to this Devourer of Destiny. I think we're going to take the Wasteland, try to slow him down here. Try to restart the game, basically. Play Wasteland, take out the Scary, and hope that we get to a point where we can start doing other stuff. Tapped Support Springs, okay. Into a Thought-Knot Seer. We're going to drop the Eye of Ugin. Hope that we don't get wheeled here, and we can just go Seer into Fleshraker. Painter's Servant, okay. Do you have the... No Grindstone to go with it yet. Into a City of Traders. I mean, we're just going to go ahead and Thought-Knot Seer here. Like, if they have a Force, it gets 2 cards out of their hand. Oh, shit! I forgot it does that. Okay, well, we can at least play Fleshraker, or no, we can't. Oh, I forgot about this interaction. Oof. I totally forgot about that interaction. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what was going on there, these are no longer colorless. These don't work the way they're supposed to now. I totally forgot about that interaction until this came up. So now I gotta find an answer for this painter before they find mana and grindstone. But it looks like... I guess we'll see if we just get grindstoned out here. A... whatchamacallit would be huge. A Dismember. Opponent gets in for 1. At least I can play Fleshraker next turn, because I have the City of Traders. And if I hit a Lotus Petal, I can actually Thought-Knot Seer. Or I'll just Ancient Tomb here. I mean, luckily I can cast it this way. I do have mana to do things. Also, with everything being colored now, I actually can exile that with Devourer of Destiny once I get up to 7 mana. But we're just treading water at this point. Hull Breacher? Hull Breacher. Are we getting wheeled now? That is the nightmare if he has a wheel to follow this up. Urza's Bobble. Bobbling me, reveal Devourer of Destiny, which he already knew about. If he wants to get in with Hull Breacher, I'm okay with that. I'd like to just keep hitting lands, but that's not what's happening at the moment. And I guess we're just going to see if we can strip his hand with Thought-Knot Seers until nothing matters. I just hope he never finds a way out of this. Okay. Force of Will pitching an Echo of Aeons. That's at least a wheel out of the game entirely. And we're just going to follow this up with another Thought-Knot Seer. Also, it's notable that none of my spells trigger Glaring Fleshraker until I find an answer for this Painter Servant. Granted, I have quite a few in the deck. Okay, Disruptor Flute is interesting. I think we're just going to stay the course here and try to Thought-Knot Seer. It walls his entire board here. See what he's got going on in hand over there. Echo and Days Undoing. Well, we have to take the Days Undoing because he can actually cast that next turn. And then I try to flash in Disruptor Flute next turn. Because if he hits a Soul Land, he's still 1 away from Echo. Or no, he's not. Never mind. Well, that sucks. Oh, just getting absolutely decimated by Wheel Stompy. Continuing the trend of just not being able to win against his deck. What do you got? Into a Karn. And you've got Lattice mana next turn? Or... No, you have mana, Lattice mana now. Alright, he got us. He got us hard. Hit the Soul Land he needed to be able to go off into a Karn, and now he can go ahead and grab Mycosynth Lattice and just completely lock me out of the game now. And there's not really anything I can do about it. I'll just let him go grab the Lattice, and then I'll scoop. Just let him do his thing. Show me your win con. If you want to Lattice me, you Lattice me. Tutoring with Karn. There's the Lattice. I'll let the Lattice get on the stack, and then I'll scoop. And a Lion's Eye Diamond, and a Lotus Petal. Alright, and here goes the Lattice. Yep, there's Lattice. Good game. Alright, on to the final round. Okay, final round. Lost the die roll. I actually like this. We get selection for our first draw. It the Heralds the End turn 1. Glaring Fleshraker turn 2, and we can Wasteland our opponent. We're going to keep this and kind of just hope that our opponent isn't on anything like super crazy fast here. We're only going to show one of the Devourers. It does let them know exactly what we're doing right off of the bat, but we want the selection for turn 1. And I did find out, or I kind of realized this earlier in the league, where having 2 of these, you get rid of 3 cards, you see one of the 4 again, plus 3 new ones, so you're actually exiling 6 cards just to see 1. So it's not like you C4 then go down 4 more C4. Alright, so this looks like it might be a lands deck. That is mildly concerning for me. Because it means that our wastelands aren't going to be very good, and they're going to probably be able to attack our mana pretty effectively. The sideboard Disruptor Flutes are almost certainly going to end up naming Wasteland. This could also be like an initiative or another kind of stompy deck, like Gruul Initiative or something. Because some of those do play Mox Diamonds. But no, it's going to be a lands deck. So we very much have to worry about our mana. I could also just take out their mana and hope that I mana screw them route. They only have 3 cards left. If they never get to 2 mana, they can't activate Reclaimer for anything relevant. And a green sun for 0. Okay. Gonna go grab a Dryad Arbor. They are 1 land away from having this Reclaimer be large. We'll see what we can draw here. See what we reveal. Make our game plan from there. We're probably just going to stick with the plan of It That Heralds the End into Glaring Fleshraker. Hope for the best. Hope our opponent doesn't like Tabernacle then Wasteland us out of the game. Chalice. So we could shut down like crop rotations, but they've already got a built-in crop rot here. It could also shut down like an exploration if we want to grab the Chalice. We could just grab another land to be safe here. Or we can grab a redundant Fleshraker. I think we just want the redundant land. Like, as unexciting as that is, I think it's just what we need to do here. And we will run out It That Heralds the End, plan on running out a Glaring Fleshraker next turn. And we're just going to hope that with their 2 cards, they can't really do anything too crazy. Whatever they get off of Elvish Reclaimer also comes in tapped. So, and we haven't seen a Life from the Loam yet, so that they can start making sure they hit their land drops. And depending on what they do here, we might just run out the city, play the Fleshraker. That way that we can pay for both of our creatures with the City of Traders, but I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I mean, we can always pay for both creatures with Ancient Tomb as well, assuming they don't Wasteland it, if they end up doing like a Tabernacle sort of line here. I might just be like irrationally afraid of Wasteland Tabernacle as their line, but we'll see what happens. Opponent has been floating green mana for a little while now. They are playing at quite the slow clip here. Alright, opponent plays a Flagstones after floating their mana for like 2 minutes. I'm assuming they're going to... No, 3 mana. I'm very confused what they're doing. I think they're going to Reclaimer away this Flagstones. Yes, they are. So they're doing their own little rampy thingamabob here. So they're going to be able to get a Plains off of this. I'm going to guess... Okay, yep, less Portico. Get a Surveil on. They get to Surveil. And then they will go get their land off their Reclaimer, and they still have 2 mana open. They've been a Mox Diamond, that's fine. Now they have to go find their Reclaimer, which I'm curious what this is going to end up being. This could be a Tabernacle, this could be a Wasteland. Okay, it's a Thespian stage. Into Reclaimer number 2. Okay. So unless they naturally... Okay, Reality Smasher is interesting. We could just take out this Thespian stage now, or we can play Glaring Fleshraker, set up for some disgusting stuff next turn. However, if we play Wasteland, they kind of know to play around it. They would have to naturally have Dark Depths for this to punish us. So I'm kind of just debating how I want to play this out. I can't attack in with the Fleshraker here. And we will lose the City of Traders next turn. They'll have 2 Reclaimers open. I think we're just going to take the action now, take out the Thespian stage, see what we draw next turn, and go from there. Like... They're kind of sort of in top deck mode here, and we're not really doing anything. They can't start beating us down with these Reclaimers, but as soon as we get this Reality Smasher down, they're not going to be able to attack in anymore. And our life total is a resource. Granted, we are hurting ourselves with the Ancient Tomb. Black mana. Okay, they can Thoughtseize us. I guess they take the Fleshraker. Like, it's what we can cast next turn. They now know about the second Wasteland as well, so they can kind of play around it. Okay, they took the Reality Smasher. Okay, they did naturally have the Dark Depths, so I'm glad that we played around it. Otherwise, we would just be dead. And they're crop rotting something away. They're crop rotting away the Dark Depths for what, Tabernacle? Or are they going to find a Wasteland of their own and try to Wasteland lock me here? Okay, they're just going to get another Dark Depths, which we can blow that up. I would love to hit, like, a Lotus Petal here. We'll take the 3, that's fine. They can't make the Dark Depths yet next turn. We hit a Secluded Courtyard. We're pretty safe to take the turn off to Fleshraker here, I think. or we just kill the Echoing Depths and put them back into top deck mode. I think we're just going to do this. Name Eldrazi, set up the Fleshraker. We are taking quite a bit of damage doing this, but we'll see what happens here. We will go ahead and hit in with the It That Heralds the End. Get some damage in, see if they want to chump block with the Dryad Arbor. Because unless they randomly top deck a Thespian Stage, they can't pop this yet. Because whatever they get off of these Reclaimers enters tapped. They have a Tabernacle, that's fine. I can pay for both of these. Okay, they're gonna Reclaimer the Tabernacle away for what? The Thespian Stage? Okay, so they can Tabernacle that away, or they can Reclaimer that away for a Thespian Stage, and then they can Reclaimer that or that away for the other piece when I try to hit it. So we're still not in a great spot here. A Kozilek's Command off the top would be the absolute best thing, because then we force the action, and then we just Kozilek's Command the token, or we can Cozy's Command the Elvish Reclaimer that's untapped to force the action. That's a Chalice. What do we want to do here? I think we just play the Wasteland, make them play chicken here. We won't attack. We could Chalice of the Void here. It shuts down our Lotus Petal as a draw, except for the fact that it still will make a Scion. So I think we are just going to go ahead and Chalice of the Void on 0, get our dude out of it. Unfortunately, this is still only 5 mana, and then we'll just pass the turn. We can make them go for it, go for the Wasteland, and set them back another turn to hopefully buy us some time. Alright, they're going to Tabernacle something else away here. Or Crop Rot something else away, I should say. We will see what they grab, and then we'll Wasteland from there. I'm not super sure what they're going to get here. Whatever it is, it enters tapped, and then we get priority to blow something up. They're getting a Wasteland of their own. So we can just blow this up now, make them have to Tabernacle away for something else again, or we can hit the Thespian Stage. They only have 2 of those left. They theoretically have 3 more Dark Depths left, but they have more Echoing Deep, so they can probably go get another Thespian Stage. Yeah, let's hit the Thespian Stage. We'll let them keep the Dark Depths for now. They'll probably just get rid of our Ancient Tomb if I had to take a guess here. They already got rid of their Tabernacle, so they can't just kill us that way. Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and blow up that. They're doing a very good job of keeping us off mana and taxing us, but we'll see what they have here. Now they have a Knight of the Reliquary, so that's another way to go find lands. It also is an 11/11. I mean, we're just going to take 6 here. See what we can hit. A Kozilek's Command would be great. Yeah, lands seems like a very hard matchup for Eldrazi unless we can just get in under them. Them being on the play and having the Mox Diamond was pretty huge. But we'll see what we draw here. Hopefully we draw something good. We draw an Eldrazi Temple. That doesn't actually do anything because we're still only at 4 mana. This costs 6. We're too short. So, like, we can play Eldrazi Temple. And, I mean, we're not dead yet, but we're virtually dead. We'll see what they do here. Like, we can chump block with the Eldrazi Spawn token, and then we can get down Devourer of Destiny next turn, followed by hopefully another Devourer of Destiny. They're incentivized to use this instead of attacking with it, but we'll see what they do here. Oh, no, they're getting in with it. Okay. We will block here. Go to 1. This does put us below Devourer of Destiny mana. They also cannot tutor now. So a 0-drop to make a spawn would be great. And they just pass the turn. Okay. Another Devourer of Destiny. This is only 5 mana. We need 6. Okay, yeah, they got us. Play draw difference there is pretty huge. But let's see if we can get the next 2 games out of this. Up against lands, we want Disruptor Flutes for sure. Dismembers seem pretty good to take out their Reclaimers. There's something to be said about Wastegate Battle Mage as well, but I'm not super sure what we would want to take out for it. Like, if we bring in those, Chalice is good on the play, but not very good on the draw. I'm not really sure we need this Talisman here. Like, they'll attack our mana, but Thought Knot Seers are kind of meh. They might take like crop rots and stuff, but hopefully our Chalice of the Void will take care of that instead. Sire of Seven Deaths at least acts as a blocker. So do Null Drifters. Devourers are a removal spell, but we might just need to remove this stuff and rely more on our removal. So yeah, maybe we just take out the high end stuff here, rely more on aggro into removal, and use Disruptor Flute, Chalice of the Void, Dismember, Wastegate Battle Mage, all that kind of stuff as disruptive elements. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, give us a good hand deck. This is turn 2 Fleshraker. I can Chalice on 0 to stop some of their stuff. Then I can Cozy's Command. I think we're going to keep this and hope for the best. Since we're not doing anything on turn 1, I think we are going to go ahead and just drop this Eye of Ugin first. That way, if they Wasteland it, I don't actually care. I have a redundant one. And then I'll just try to do Fleshraker into Cozy's Command. This will shut off their Mox Diamonds. It doesn't stop like a Reclaimer or an Exploration or something like that. And this is why I let off on the Eye of Ugin, because I have a replacement one. So we're essentially just restarting the game. The difference is I have some of their ramp under control, and I'm just going to replay the same land. If they have another Wasteland, it's a little annoying, but we're hitting our lands to be able to keep going. Flagstones, okay. So they could have like Swords to Plowshares in theory to take out this first Fleshraker. We have another Cavern, so I like the redundancy there. Play a Fleshraker. That's also not a land we particularly want to Wasteland. If they can start getting some Loam shenanigans going, I'm a little concerned about that, but we do have a Kozilek's Command to be able to snipe the Loam out of the graveyard. So like they can get their Wasteland back, but then we snipe the Loam itself out of the graveyard, make a bunch of dudes, and then we're just trusting that all of this kind of shit will work. But we'll see what they do. And the Fleshraker is essentially free. Like, it's going to replace itself because of this one. 2 mana. This could also just be like a Knight of the Reliquary. This could be a Green Sun Zenith. Crop Rotation, okay. Trying to get some ramp on. What are they going to grab? Are they going to grab another Wasteland? They got a Savannah off of the Flagstones. What are they going to get here? Another Wasteland. Are they going to go after the Eye, or are they going to go after the Cavern? Okay, they're going after the Eye. That's fine-ish. Do they have a Swords to Plowshares to follow this up? No. Okay. I would not hate another Soul Land here. That's an Eldrazi Temple. The question becomes well, I think I just want to do this. Like I was about to say, the question becomes do I want to hold up Kozilek's Command to snipe a whatchamacallit? Wastelands from their Loams, but I'm gonna cast this on the Loam itself. And now I theoretically have a mana engine going. And I'm just going to try to out-aggro them here. Like, I don't like that they still have 6 cards in hand and they're starting to get their mana under them, but we'll see if they have the Loam or not. Windswept Heath, okay. Into a Bayou, okay. I mean, we did see they have black mana. Okay, they're going to Thoughtseize away our Kozilek's Command. I mean, that sucks, but it is what it is. We have a lot of stuff to be able to replace that. It does suck if they have a life from the Loam now. And they know we can't do anything, so we'll just have 6 through the turn. Green mana. Another crop rotation. What is this going to be? Another Wasteland? A Tabernacle? What? Another Wasteland. Okay, so they're just trying to get us off of everything here. But we have a presence on board. We have more lands. Another Chalice. I think we will play Cavern of Souls on Eldrazi. And then just slam a Chalice on one to start shutting this stuff down. We'll make 2 dudes, ping them for 2, hit them for 4. Having multiple Fleshrakers is just absolutely insane. And then we'll hit them for 4, put them to 5. Oh, I didn't need to attack with that spawn. Whatever. We're sending a message with the spawn. It's fine. And then we still have a Wasteland. We have a good amount of mana under us. Their tutors are shut down for the most part here. Because this shuts off Crop Rotation. This shuts off Elvish Reclaimer. They could still do like a Knight of the Reliquary or something. Yep, there's the Knight of the Reliquary. It is also quite large. It is an 8/8, but I think the way that we win this game is just casting spells and pinging them with the Fleshraker. So, like, we basically just want any colorless spells at this point. Like, a Kozilek's Command is just lethal. I can cast 5 drops. It that Heralds the End is also just lethal here. So we're gonna make this uncounterable for no real reason. This also gives all of our spawns power now, so we can just swing wide and kill them. So, okay. We just need a repeat of that next game. The question becomes is, since we're on the draw, do we want to keep the chalices in, or do we want to take them out for something else? There's also something to be said about bringing in the Fairy Macabres. Like, there's just so much situational stuff in these matchups. We could also just take out the Dismembers, but they're a good answer for Elvish Reclaimer. They don't really do well up against stuff like the Merit Lage and the Knight of the Reliquary. And in that case, then we'd probably want Thought-Knot Seer instead. But the One Ring is also something we could bring in here just to have a card advantage engine going. I'm just real iffy about these chalices on the draw is my big thing here. Let's trim a chalice or a Dismember, 2 of the chalices. Let's bring in the One Rings to be able to play catch up and have a fog. Like I said, I'm just so iffy about these Fairy Macabres if I want those in or not. Do we keep the 3rd Dismember? Do we keep a 3rd Chalice? Do we bring in the Talisman so that we have mana they can't really interact with? I think we'll keep the 3rd Dismember in. We'll just trim 2 of the Chalices. Like I said, they're not very good on the draw. Let's try that. Okay, so I've got a Devourer, I've got lands, I've got Disruptor Flute. Do I trust in this hand is the question. Because I can Eye of Ugin turn 1, unless I get something good off of this Devourer. I think we're going to keep this. Trust in the Devourer. We theoretically have a removal spell for, like, an Elvish Reclaimer or something. Especially depending on what we get off of this Devourer trigger. Windswept Teeth from the opponent, cracking it right away. Is this going to be something like an Elvish Reclaimer? Crop Rot into something? Is looking like a Green Sun Zenith for Dryad Arbor. Okay. Devourer trigger, see what we see off the top 4. There's a Kozilek's Command, another Cavern of Souls, another Disruptor Flute. We could try to play the Wasteland game ourselves, but they've got an extra mana. Because, like, we can kill the Dryad Arbor if we want to. Try to set them back to 1 card. We can just grab a redundant Cavern of Souls to try to be able to get through a Disruptor Flute or something similar. I'm really torn about what to do here. I really would have liked a true Soul Land of some sort here. What do we think they're doing? They cared about getting the extra mana. So I think we're going to take the Wasteland and just blow up their Dryad Arbor. This is kind of a weird play, but we're going to do that. Hope that we hit a Soul Land next turn. Like, this is a super aggressive line here, but I don't want them getting too far ahead of us on mana. They're already going to be up a land over us anyways. They got a Flagstones. They could Crop Rot that away. Okay, Elvish Reclaimer. I have a theoretical answer for that if I can get to that point. Like I said, a Soul Land would be the absolute best thing to hit here. Wastegate Battle Mage. We'll play Eye of Ugin and kind of just hope for the best here. Like, I don't like that we're not hitting lands. This might have been an aggressive keep. We might pay the price for it here. They can Flagstone, yeah, Wasteland. So I put this out just because this is our only one that actually produces mana. And their Elvish Reclaimer is already a 3/4. They could go ahead and Crop Rot or Elvish Reclaimer this away, get another Wasteland, and get a land out of it. And just try to completely screw us off of mana. But we'll see what happens here. Nope, they're just going to get in with it. They're going to go for aggro here. If we hit a Soul Land, we could Disruptor Flute, name Elvish Reclaimer. A Petal also accomplishes the same. Yeah, just these lands-based decks seem very, very strong against us. Oh, and they have the Life from the Loam this time. Into a Fleshraker. We're not getting back into this game. I am going to hold on to this just in case I hit like a Lotus Petal. We are not casting this Devourer of Destiny anytime soon, so we're going to go ahead and just chuck that. The only reason I'm not running out this Cavern of Souls is, like I said, just in case I hit a Lotus Petal, I can at least play Disruptor Flute, shut off future Wastelands, and hope that we draw into it, but Yeah, them having Wasteland, Into Life from the Loam, and Elvish Reclaimer, and us just not hitting lands here. Like, it was an aggressive line with that Wasteland, and this is admittedly probably a very sad end to the league. That being said, they've got 6.5 minutes left, and they're playing super slow. I don't want to play to a timeout, but okay, so they're gonna try to go for a faster kill. Got it. Because they can crop rot something that they can crop rot the flagstones away to get the mana and a Dark Depths. I could also just play Disruptor Flute, name Thespian Stage, shut that combo off, but then I'm still just kind of locked under this Life from the Lone Wasteland lock until I find something else that I can do. And this is part of the reason why I was debating about those Fairy Macabres, was to be able to shut shit like this off, but we'll see. Alright, opponent is holding up the Elvish Reclaimer. The One Ring doesn't do anything, so they can go make the Merit Lage. And we're just going to pitch the One Ring. A Soul Land still actually kills the Merit Lage, because they can't make it this turn. They didn't go for the Dark... Oh, no, that was off of the Flagstones. Never mind. I was about to say, they didn't go for the Dark Depths? Okay, there's the Dark Depths. We will just chuck the One Ring. We're not casting it. We're basically just wanting a Soul Land, and for them to try to make this on their turn or some shit. And it looks like that's probably what they're doing here. Okay, yeah, they're making it now. So it's basically Soul Land off of the top or we're dead. There's the Merit Lage. And a Wasteland. Okay, so yeah, it's literally just going to be, do I hit a Soul Land off of the top? Come on, Soul Land. Lotus Petal. You're a turn too late, bud, and you don't make colorless mana. Pretty sure they have the ability to just kill us here, but we are going to see if they actually... Like, if we had another land, we also could bounce the Merit Lage, but, like, we don't have the mana. So we're just going to see if they can get into attack step within 3.5 minutes. Okay, gonna Wasteland this. We'll float some mana. Make it seem like we have something. We do not. Unfortunately, this does not make colorless mana or Kozilek's command the Merit Lage, but kind of disappointing end to the league here, but it is what it is. We kept an aggressive hand, we got mana screwed, and they kind of had, like, the absolute nuts against what we were trying to do anyway, so... But, oh well, I'll address it all in the wrap-up. Okay, so at the end of this league, we smashed our opponents with the Eldrazi. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. We were able to get some blazing fast starts, just overpower our opponents with these frankly undercosted creatures. Got to see some crazy stuff with Glaring Fleshraker just pinging our opponent, even when in theory we weren't going to be able to start swinging through them. But just being able to put the extra bodies on the battlefield, ping our opponents, and then also use those extra bodies to power up Eldrazi Linebreaker as well, was absolutely fantastic, to exactly what this deck was trying to do. We also did get to see exactly what I mentioned, where this deck is very, very weak to land hate. We didn't see like any Blood Moons or Magus of the Moons or Harbingers of the Seas, which are also very problematic cards for this deck, but we saw it just get absolutely obliterated with Wasteland Lock from our land's opponent, and just our lands blown out over and over and over again by that Orzhov Blink opponent, showing that the mana base is definitely the weakness of this deck, and if you're looking to beat it, you want to attack the lands. But Eldrazi Linebreaker feels great in place of Sowing Mycospawn. Personally, I enjoy more of the stompy aggro feel of this versus the longer game controlling plan that the old Mycospawn builds did. But the deck was a blast to play. I don't really have any comments. Talisman of Impulse, I understand why it's in the deck. It never really came up, but it's a way to get colorless and colored mana through some of those land hate effects. But it just never really came up when we needed it, sort of thing. So I could see maybe swapping that out for something else. I don't know what, though. Personally, I also might go a little more aggro and cut some of the higher end stuff. Like, I understand why Null Drifter is in the deck, but again, it didn't really come up much, and I might swap that out for maybe some more Reality Smashers or something like that, just to get even more aggro and low to the ground. But the deck was a ton of fun. You know me, I love my Stompy decks. And as much as I hate playing against Eldrazi, I do very much love playing it. They are my second favorite creature type outside of Phyrexians in the entire game. So, yeah, I hope you all had as much fun watching as I did playing. I will catch you all in the next video. And as always, stay salty. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you like what you saw. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like and sub button below. There are free ways to support the channel. And drop a comment, let me know what you like. Any kind of feedback you got, your opinions on my gameplay, the decks that I play, any of that kind of stuff. If you really like what you see, go ahead and drop by the Patreon. Become a patron, get to read some of my tournament reports and some stuff going on outside of just Magic in my life that I'm going to start putting over there as kind of my own personal blog. Also, you can do donation deck lists over there, just the price of a league if you have a specific deck you want to see, or you have an idea you want me to brew around, something like that, go ahead and do that. Nothing is required. It's always appreciated, though. Any donations go directly back into the channel, covering stuff such as leagues for donation decks or the rental program that I'm a part of. I am a small-time YouTuber. I'm doing this for fun. I really hope you all like what you saw. I truly appreciate you all stopping by. I will catch you all in the next video, and as always, stay salty.